Hey, what is up? It is your friend Damien Howard here with another Village Talks segment. Hey, I know how important the arts are, and oftentimes what I see as an educator in my work is the arts continue to get removed from spaces where we are trying to focus on the development and the nurture of young people. And the concept of Village Talks says that we are stronger together. The more we create synergies and find ways to find partnerships, and we do that work towards the end of helping with youth development, I think kids, families, and communities win on the other side of that commitment. So, with that, y'all know how we do it at Village Talks. We always have amazing folks who come here to educate and inspire. And Tim Young is going to jump in here and let us know, Tim, what you have your hands on and whatever else you want to say by way of introduction. Jump in there.
Hey, I am Tim Young. Thanks for having me, Damien. I appreciate it. I am first a child of God. I'm a husband, a father of three boys. I am a producer, singer, songwriter. I'm an educator. I'm a owner of a music media company that specializes in utilizing uh, SEL, just education, and just anything when it comes to learning. To kind of leverage it, to take it to that next level. Because once again, music touches your emotions without your permission. It's a superpower, and it's time to just use it in a more effective and efficient way. But yeah, man, I'll stay right there. I'll leave it at that.
And now that's cool. So tell us more. We want to hear more. I mean, you whet our palates when you started to talk about how music is touching the emotion, and it inevitably, like, you don't even have a choice. It's gonna
Yeah.
hit you in that way. Yeah, and then you even use one of my trigger words when you got or phrases when you started talking about the social and emotional development of kids and how you're using music in a way to help support those competencies and the competency development with young people. Tell us more.
Absolute. So we'll always start with the music first. That's just kind of where I came from. I was, grew up in the church, went to school for it. Kind of took a break from school and just kind of got into the craft of music songwriting, publishing, and things of that nature. So I can say now, after 20 years of just kind of being in this space, I'm a recording artist. I'm a manager of a music publishing company. Just a lot of great things have been happening in the last couple of years. But my passion to take music into spaces that don't require me to just be out front or whatever the case may be just became the loudest thing I heard. Right. So probably back in 2017, I had the opportunity to kind of write music for a corporate setting. Right. I was a new hire trainer, and I started utilizing music in that space, and it just blew up and just turned into something crazy. I created a segment of the company called U Music Kids, where I started utilizing not just your standard curriculum, but like everyday lessons, everyday things that your kids need to learn. I was creating music for that. And as time went on, I got a chance to work for a non-for-profit organization, and I started infusing SEL with the music, infusing my all my media production, all that stuff with music. And now I actually work for a mental health company, a mental health your organization, and now we're infusing music into that space for our youth, allowing them to learn how to build those SEL skills with music and also video gaming. So it's I'm a creative. I'm super innovative, and there's no reason why some of the things that our kids enjoy on a regular basis shouldn't be used to better them versus kind of tear them down. Like, you see a lot of stuff in video games, you see a lot of stuff in music that doesn't build us up, that doesn't allow us to be great. But I'm that person. I'm that trailblazer. I'm that advocate that wants to make sure our kids are growing, learning, and getting better. One phrase that I use in my company is we want to build your REP, retention, engagement, and performance. So when it comes to the staff and the companies we serve, the mentors that are serving these mentees, we want to make sure they have the proper information, not just the proper information, but a game changing way to retain that information. The biggest question that I have always is, why do we stop using music to educate and retain? it stops after early education and not just don't understand that. So I feel like I was put on this earth to change that. And it's been pretty fun. It's been awesome. It's been amazing. And I'm just looking to build and do it as much as I possibly can.
So the company is called U Music, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So when you all partner, particularly with agencies and organizations that are about youth development, who is like, help us to understand who is that ideal partner that you all work with? Is it mentorship organizations? Is it schools and or school districts? Who are the partners that are bringing you all in? And by the way, when they bring you all in, is it prepackaged material that you are giving them? Do you create things with them? How does the process look like?
I love it. I love that question. So essentially, what we want to do is we want to come on and we want to partner for at least 6 months to a year, right? We want to build out your, we call it, I just came up with it the other day. We call it audio learning library, right? So everybody will have their own playlist, right? So you have like the standard curriculums that offer you XYZ and XYZ. But what we want to do is we want to become your in house music media production company and start to develop things that only happen in your establishment. So ideally, we can do work and we have done work with schools individually. We can go larger to school districts. We can go, smaller to non-for-profit organizations. I've done that work in all those spaces. Like a perfect example for the non-for-profit space is we've come in and done actual songwriting classes over the summer, music video classes, but at the same time, when it comes to the actual organization, this company in particular, they're siloed throughout Chicago. So the CEO wanted to create an engaging way to bring that community back together, build that morale and so forth and so on. So we came up with this anthem, and it just really just revitalized the organization, right? Another example of some of the work that we've done in schools is the IAR, the Illinois Assessment of Readiness exam. My son was at a school, and I was like, let me write a song for you guys. So they gave me the different tips that they wanted the kids to adhere to for this test. I made my son the actual artist on the song. I wrote it, made a lyric video for it, and we put it up on YouTube. And the kids listened to it every single day before taking the test, and it did well. It did well. They was excited about it, and it's just when you think about music, like I said earlier, if it has a potential to touch your emotions without your permission, the level of limits, there are none. So it's pretty much whatever. And we build out those structures, and we want to make sure it caters to your personal music preference, because we got a team of, producers, songwriters, engineers that can, fulfill all those styles. So yeah, it is. The sky is truly the limit.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because oftentimes what I've heard and learned is that people make decisions not always based on like IQ, but like more of their emotional state, not
Yes, sir.
based on this deep sense of intelligence in certain area and a deep processing through all of these layers and variables, but it's more of okay, what I feel, right? In the
Hmm.
moment really triggers how I'm reacting. And to your point, it's things like the art, specifically here, music, that can really kind of sway, encourage, and inspire in a unique way, touching that emotions. What you say without what?
Without your permission.
Without your permission. I hear you. I hear you. Hey, I'm thinking, Tim, of tools that are out here in this day and age, like for instance, Suno, right? When I was
Hmm.
first introduced to Suno, going there, typed in a prompt, and it gave me this hip hop song that was talking about things that are of interest to me. And I'm like,
Yes.
oh, this is dope. Like it ain't like super, super duper dope, but it's dope. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
ain't like it's all the way like, you know what I mean, hitting the bridge like I wanted to, hitting all of these different pieces, but it
Yes, sir.
created something that
Hmm.
was somewhat kind of aligned to a vision I had when I put that prompt in there. When you think of like nascent technology, the possibilities of leveraging vehicles like Suno and or other artificial intelligence tools, does that feel like it's a threat to your work or a compliment?
I love this question too because being in sync music publishing, so that's making music for TV, commercial, and film, we ran into. I remember when it came about, and there was an initial fear or whatever the case may be, but ultimately, I say this when it comes to AI in general. I love AI, by the way, but you just have to remain the mastermind behind the actual tool that's here to serve you. Don't lose your job. So to answer your question, I feel like it can be a compliment. It can be more of a compliment to what it is we're doing, because honestly it kind of allows us to scale. But the desire to make a more authentic impression, a more authentic expression, is going to be what allows us to kind of stay above the competition piece of, Suno and different things of that nature. Because, you know, as an audio engineer, I can always tell when I hear AI. I can hear it. It has a very distinctive sound. And yes, they are training it to make it sound more authentic, but hey, it is what it is. Why not? I prefer to work with it than, feel like I can't do, it's gonna take my job basically. But yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Absolutely. So, what is your vision with U Music of supporting kids? I love how you talk because even earlier you spoke of this work being aligned with what you believe your purpose on earth is, right?
Yes, sir.
And even when you reached out to me, I think there was a little bit of an intrigue that we saw in each other because we both saw as a part of our heart, as a part of our purpose, as a part of our mission, impacting youth, impacting families and communities, right?
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, I want to hear a little bit more about that. When you think of you music, its power, its potential, what really comes to mind, and how does that align with your personal purpose?
I love it. Thanks. So just in the last probably 6 to 8 months, I've had the opportunity to kind of do some building of SEL based frameworks and curriculum that infuse music and the different skills that we want our kids to build. I just last year I started working at this mental health uh, company, and I'm doing the mentorship. I'm spending time with the boys. I'm building them up, and we're rolling out different things of that nature. So I had the opportunity to, and I go there. So I built out a framework that kind of speaks from K all the way to 12 of different SEL skills that are happening on a regular basis, that teachers are using in just on the regular. And we are building out content, music media, that kind of speaks to that. So that can be from a licensing standpoint. So but at the same time, you do get that customization piece, like what I've learned with my sister. She's a teacher and she's a developer and things of that nature. Teachers kind of prefer that you give them more of a lesson plan, like, so they don't have to figure out how to implement different things of that nature. So essentially what we're doing is we're building out these different tiers of things that can be available, I don't know, on Teachers Pay Teachers or on our website for licensing or whatever the case may be. Because once again, SEL is in and it's not going anywhere. And if we can help the kids retain, engage, and perform at a higher clip with music, I think we're winning, right? So that's definitely something that I'm looking to do. Just kind of seeing. I had a chance to kind of look at some of your content and just seeing some of the different places in which, like, systems that are already in place. What happens when we infuse music, right? What happens when we put a song, once again, that speaks to your music preferences, young boy, right? This hip hop or drill type of sound, but the message is changing. So what happens from a standpoint is we're causing two big, huge, huge changes in this child's life from a mental standpoint. Sonically, you're attracted, but then message wise, you're almost in question, because it's like, what's happening here? It sounds like what I listen to on a regular basis, but it's teaching me how to emotionally regulate, right? What's happening here when there's a song that I can play when I'm playing basketball, or I'm on a basketball court, and it's not talking about guns, but it's helping me have competitive edge without being so aggressive. Like I'm flowing right now, but I got a song called that I did with one of my basketball coaches, and he's like, man, I need my kids to be a little bit more aggressive, and I don't want them to, you know what I'm saying, I don't need all that cussing in the content or whatever the case may be. So the song literally says, it's time to bring the dogs out. That's the only way we really gonna ball out. So we got to leave it all out on the court. No hesitation, no doubt. Got to give your opponent a tough time, never standing still, making it hard for them to find a moment to catch your breath, because you won't stop moving. That's right. Don't stop, keep moving. Right. So it's like it's we're taking songwriting, we're taking music production, and we're kind of we're finding new jobs for our people in the artist space, but at the same time, we're getting away from this convoluted space of just competition, and learning other ways to get in front of our kids, get in front of our families, get in front of our inner cities, and just allow them to have another alternative that doesn't push them to the drugs, push them to the street, or push them to things that just don't build them up.
If you ever have the ability to find and link up with Roy Scott,
Bro,
I met
Scott.
him on the East Coast via LinkedIn. This brother has a platform called Healthy Hip Hop. He was a MC, and now his mission and work is really oriented around doing professional developments for school districts and classrooms, and really bringing his art of hip hop to grow skills. I think that y'all will have a lot of good stuff to talk about, but beyond that, hear me when I say this brother has raised over $1 million
Wow.
because everything it is that you're talking about right now is being validated by the market and even investors saying, we know what it is you have your hands on can make an impact with kids. So I would love for you
Mm,
to connect there. Another thought I have as I speak with you, man, I think of the work that we do with boys and young men, across the
mm,
city of Chicago with our My Brother's Keeper work. And a lot of our young men are just so gifted. They're so skilled,
mm.
right? And I just wonder if they linked up with Tim Young, could we have an MBK Chicago anthem? You know
That'd be
what I mean? That's
crazy.
just so cold, so amazing that even before we put in our highlight reels for things that are coming up and or things that have happened, like this is what is playing in the background, right? When you talk about an
Yeah.
anthem, I would love, bro, for you to meet some of my brothers and we think about what that could look like. That's the power of collective impact, right?
That's right.
Everybody has a piece that they can bring to the table for the good of the whole. And even as I listen to you, I hear about how this stuff is aligned with your purpose, how you have SEL really embedded in what it is that you're doing with the work. Yeah, man, it just feels like, as we already knew, it's a lot of synergies, but now it's even becoming more clear. So, like you said, I got you started a moment ago. Now you got me started, and,
I
and
love it.
we're in a pocket. Every segment that I do, I try to have a part of it, whereas I ask you to open up your imagination, and we
Mhm.
are there where I'm asking you to really see me from an imaginative place, giving you a magic wand. So as you think of, I don't know, even things that might be going exceptionally well through your work or in communities that you care about, and or when you think of plight, when you think of opportunity, ways that you believe the community can be enriched, how are you going to use your magic wand to
Mhm.
bring about a particular change and or to exasperate and expand something amazing that you see going on?
First thing that came to my mind is the the power of perception.
Mm,
There is uh, it's a misconception in thinking the lifestyle, the style of music
mm,
is the way. But once again, when I can make something that you don't enjoy more engaging, I can make something that you don't enjoy come to life, right? Some of these kids just want a different opportunity. Some of these kids just want to be, the greatest rapper, basketball player, whatever the case may be, but there's a lot of things in the way. And sometimes we just don't realize the content that we're feeding ourselves on a regular basis is just that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can change your perspective
Mm.
enough to realize I have to change what I feed my gates, man, I'm talking limitless possibility. I'm talking like
Got you.
there's no yeah, it's there's no reason why you shouldn't want to be great. And then mind you, I got three boys, man.
Mm.
So it's like I'm serious about this. I'm serious about this because it's like if you just knew.
Mm-hmm.
You don't sometimes we gotta leave certain areas and come back. Nah, not always. If you had the resources, what would it look like if you had resources that allowed you to see once again? Because oh my God, perception is so king because I can if I can convince you, I got a song that says first things first, set a trap with a trap beat that is, then the mind will adapt to what will keep his pockets running strong. It's all about money, sing along. So as long as I'm getting it, I won't admit it that this is a bad song.
Mm.
Right. So it's understanding if I can get you over this hump,
Mm.
get you over this lie, and how the industry is pushing us away, pushing us against each other. Right. This is I my magic wand
Pushing
will
us
allow.
against each other, and also a negative perspective and perception of who we are, right? Like when
Yes.
you think of some of these things that get elevated as far as for our black women even, I'm just
Yeah.
like, man, that's not the norm. That is
It's
not the
not the
norm. Why? Yeah.
it's not the norm, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm just so grateful that I'm who I am. I'm married, whatever case may be, because it's like, dude, like the youth is we they need us.
Yeah. Okay.
They truly do, man. And it's like I know and I believe this. I believe that the work that we're doing here in this space is going to allow kids to really like be loose from those bond the bounds that keep you thinking, oh, you know, I
Yeah.
just like it because of the beat. No, you don't. You don't realize that you're
Mm.
being you're being
Brainwash.
hypnotized,
Yeah.
brainwashed. You don't
Yeah.
realize it. My boys, my nephews. I remember when they was like my son's age, and I just like it because of the beat. But now your rapping is like this,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but your life don't match up sometimes. Like make it make sense. Like come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what my magic wand would definitely do.
So, as of late, I've been appreciating the opportunity to end my segments in the way that I'm going to do it right now. What I
Mhm.
want to say to my viewing audience is I know exactly, I know, excuse me, without doubt that we accomplished what we were supposed to do. Village Talks, these segments is all about education and inspiration. And I know you got a boatload of both of those things as Tim
Mhm.
was just sharing his purpose with us on this segment. So, Tim, with that being said, I did my due diligence to holler at my folks and really provide some some a conclusion, right, if you will, to this space to wrap it up. I did my part. Now I want to leave you with the final word. I want to give you that opportunity that whatever else might be on top of your mind, if there's a space that you want to call people to so that we can learn more about you and what it is that you have your hands on, you have this last opportunity to go ahead and help us to close this book on this podcast segment.
Hmm. You can definitely find me all places. U Music LLC, Pop Gospel Speaks. That's my brand for my artistry. But most importantly, I want to leave you with this: no more hesitation. No more hesitation. Whatever the vision is, whatever the goal is, pursue it with reckless abandonment. Trust, trust the vision, trust the work that is going to do everything it needs to do. And I guarantee you, you'll look up and you'll be closer than you are. I'm a living witness. I'm right here because I trusted the vision and I removed hesitation. Peace.
So with that, that is another Village Talk segment. We know that y'all got what y'all needed out of that. Tim, so grateful to now have you as a part of our village, and we'll be in touch. Peace
Yes,
out.